he's just involved in his father. So he doesn't look at me so much anymore. He's actually just gravitating around his father. So he's always following his father around. He's always trying to do things to please you, and he's always trying to be around you and emulate you. Can you explain a little bit about that? Because I know you had that with your father as well.
Well, that's how the male learns. The male learns not necessarily by being lectured to, although we do need to be spoken to, but the male learns by watching and having a role model. Because we are visual people, we're visual audio people, and we tend to gravitate to a strong male role model if the father is not there. Which is why you have the young brothers on the streets trying to be like hoodlums or gangsters, because they've seen a hoodlum or a gangster, and in their mind that is a strong image, you know, and to their peers that is a strong image, and everybody wants to be in that strong role model of that model. So yeah, the father's role is to be an exemplar in truth, to be in the life of his children, not just the male but the female also, but just to be an exemplar there, working, not necessarily lecturing all the time. I mean, the mother deals with that in the male-female, you know, balance, but just to be an exemplar. He must see his father, you know, being affectionate to his wife. He must see the father doing things and setting up things around the home. He must see the father going out to work and know the connection between what the father does and how the home runs. So that's how I would explain that in just briefly.
Can you also like explain a little bit about Elijah and how Elijah follows you around and how he always wants to be near you and how you feel, you know, about that, whether, because sometimes, you know, we just want to be by ourselves, or, you know, sometimes we just want to get on and do something, but are you able to do that?
Well, it goes back to what you're saying about the price for peace. The price for peace, from what I was just trying to write down here before you asked me to explain this, the price for peace from my perspective is something that male and female have to pay. I mean, you focus heavily on the male for some reason, which I'm not sure. I'd like to hear why you focus so much on the male in your explanation of the price for peace, or your intro into this piece. From my perspective, both male and female have to pay that price, you know, and if we are not paying it equally, then there's going to be an imbalance in the home. You know, it may seem, you know, that the female may be doing more or needs to do more, but that's only for a time. Once the boys, specifically the boys, reach 10, 11, 12, 13, then, as you're saying, it flips over and their focus more becomes on the male, and it's for the man to realize it's that life cycle again, knowing the cycle, knowing what's coming next. I can take that as an invasion of my privacy when the young boys want to be around me all the time. You know, can we follow you down the shop? Can we be with you when you're tinkering on the computer? Can we, you know, just watch you? They just sometimes come and sit and watch me. You know, and if I don't understand the life cycle, that is a part of their growth and development, then, you know, I can get digi, for want of a better word, with that.
Yeah. Okay. The reason why I'm focusing so heavily on the father is because that's only my first point. I have other points where I'm dealing with the female, but we've dealt with the female throughout the whole. We've dealt with both male and female. But Minister Farrakhan also said that you can't even get to the role of the female without going through the male, and that's why I chose to go through the male's role first. But the Bible spoke about fathers don't provoke your children, you know, and I was thinking about how the children are provoked, and, you know, we know that the children in this society have been provoked already because they're just very angry, and I know that they're angry for specific reasons, you know, but they're very angry, and I know that I was thinking about how the youth, how the teenagers, how children are provoked. You know, and it's sometimes even in the absence of the father, that the male, I know my brothers were very, very angry, and they were angry because my father wasn't there and they rejected my stepfather. Sometimes the father is around, but he's not really involved, and that goes back to what you were saying about Elijah and about following you around. And I know that you always say that, you know, you used to watch everything that your father did, and also in the harshness, sometimes the father is really hard. And the Bible says, it talks about admonition. And admonition is to speak firmly, or to speak fairly, but firmly. I'm doing it again.
Being fair, but firm.
So get back here. But also But also another way whereby the youths, the teenagers are and our young children, not just the youth and the teenagers, but another way where children are provoked by their father is the way that the father treats the mother. So again, that goes back to what you were saying about the way that the way that you treat me and the way that the male treats the female is so important. You know, and that's one of the reasons why I concentrated so much on the role of the father as well, because we as women, and I know that there are some of us who, you know, said I didn't have a father and I'm all right. We misunderstand the role of the father so much, you know, that we have a complete disregard for it. So now we don't even think that it's necessary or valuable anymore. And that's one of the reasons why our families have broken down to the degree that they have been, because our value for one another has been destroyed and eroded, which then takes us back to the role of the female as well. In terms of working, we know that the government have a policy of everyone back to work, or mothers, they're sending mothers back to work. They're sending black women, mothers back to work. And what they're saying is that when women go back to work, they have a sense of self and a sense of value. I'm frowning a little bit because of the sunshine. But they're saying that it gives them a sense of worth and a sense of value by being a receptionist or a doctor or a counsellor or what have you. However, what they're saying is you being a mother and you being within the home, within the children, within the family, that's less important than you being on a desk somewhere in a reception, or that's less important than you being around nurturing your children. That's less important than you working as a unit in order for us to change our community and our family and our society. Because one of the prices that we pay, because there's all different aspects to the price that we pay for peace, but part of it is sacrifice. It's sacrificing our time, it's sacrificing our energy, it's sacrificing what I think is I'm selfish. You know, some of the attitudes that we have, you know, the one that we can just disregard the other parent and disrespect the mother or the father in front of the children and not think that will hurt us. But all of that is killing the mind of the child, because when the child sees the two parents arguing or fighting or struggling with one another, that hurts them because they are the sum total of their parents. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I'm just writing down here, sacrifice is the currency. You know, there's many brothers and sisters who say they are sacrificing. You know, the sisters will say, well, I'm on the plantation, I'm sacrificing. You know, I've got a smaller TV than the one that I wanted, I'm sacrificing. You know, I'm sacrificing so that little Toby can have his Nikes, Air Jordans or whatever it is, latest Air Force Ones. Yeah. I am sacrificing. So our concept of sacrifice is off sometimes. So in us saying that, you know, that's the price or the currency is sacrifice in the price for peace, we have our brothers and sisters saying we are sacrificing. We're sacrificing for shaitan, that's sacrificing.
Yeah, but
we're sacrificing good for bad, but it's still sacrificing.
Well,
so can you qualify that, the sacrificing of it?
Yeah, not necessarily, because sacrifice means the actual root of the word means to draw closer to God. So anything that I'm sacrificing, it means that I'm taking a step closer to God. And every step I take closer to God is my children are coming with me, my family, my community are coming with me. We're all going together, getting closer to God. So anything that I'm sacrificing, it's for a specific purpose. It's for the growth and development of our family, community and nation. Nike trainers can't do that. They can't, because they have no place in our community and our nation, because they're part of the propaganda that is helping to keep us down. They're one of the reasons why children and why teenagers and why adults are going around dealing drugs. You know, they're one of the reasons why women are prostituting themselves. In fact, their sign really is a death sign, because what it does is it moves us away from God. You know, and it's not just Nike, because it's part of a package. The big time cars, the big time clothes, the houses, the big time holidays, all of those things that are part of are things that you do after you've already been established as a community, as a nation. You know, while you're at work, you're not on holiday at the same time. You're either working or you're on holiday. There are specific times for specific things. While we're at work, there are times when we have to sacrifice and say, listen, I can't afford to buy this because I've got to buy this.
You mean sacrifice in the worldly sense of sacrifice now, not draw closer to God?
No, I'm talking